Napo Pharmaceuticals has a drug, crofelemer, that can help with the long-term effects of COVID-19. So with me to explain more about this particular treatment is the CEO of Napo Pharmaceuticals, Lisa Conti, and also Andreea Porcelli from Post Pandemic Recovery SPAC in Las Vegas. So Andreea, let's just start with you. We've had, a lot has happened. With this, we talked in December, but this has been a very fast-moving situation. So how do you see the news regarding the new strains of COVID playing into this? Just kind of explain what we've seen over the past month or so.
Well, definitely. We've seen, of course, the UK strain, the South African strain. The UK just announced on Friday that they thought the UK strain was definitely more lethal. And of course, we already knew much more transmissible. So in fact, their lockdown has helped somewhat, but they're still grappling with this new strain because up to 80% of new cases are the new strain, which hasn't really taken hold in the US yet, thankfully, but probably will. So overall, I think the news is we're going to have many more people by the time this is done. Sometime in the summer of 2022, we'll have herd immunity, hopefully. But in the meantime, we will have up to 50% of the adult population that has had COVID at least once.
Okay, well, one of these viruses is bad enough, and now there's all these strains we got to deal with too. So, Lisa, kind of tell me, there's been a lot of attention given to the long hauler syndrome of COVID, and the people that are experiencing symptoms for months after they've had a positive test. So, explain to me, what your treatments are doing to help those people.
Sure. Yeah. There's two key points about that. With this growing population of people that are infected and the persistency of the problem, what percentage are dealing with GI symptoms, of which diarrhea is the most common? So there's been a lot of studies, right? This is so new, that are popping up all over the world that are experiencing or are explaining similar situations. But there has been one systematic study that was published by medRxiv in late December, so just about less than a month ago. medRxiv is owned by Cold Spring Harbor, Yale University, BMJ. It was 3,700 patients in different countries. It was a survey administered in 8 different languages. And what it found is that 60% of the respondents are reporting diarrhea. And after 6 months, 20% of the respondents are reporting diarrhea. And I'm going to give you a personal reflection here. I've been working in the business of dealing with diarrhea, treating diarrhea, normalizing diarrhea for over 25 years. People don't like to talk about it. So typically, by the time they're reporting a problem with diarrhea, it's because they've already changed their diet, they've already tried something over the counter. So in my view, not only is this meaningful in terms of the numbers, but in terms of the patient comfort, their health, and their lifetime productivity. Because what we are seeing is the long hauler syndrome is typically affecting a younger patient population, the 20, 30, 40, 50-year-olds, not as much as the 60, 70, 80-year-olds who have another whole issue with GI symptoms. A second point about this is we've started. So Jaguar Health has started on this pathway. Our goal is to get conditional approval in the EMA. The EMA has been proactive in bringing about solutions and rapid solutions, creative solutions, repurposed solutions during a pandemic emergency. And under a conditional approval pathway, there is an opportunity, and certainly for a drug like crofelemer, Mytesi is approved in the United States for an HIV indication. Certainly in a situation like that, there is an opportunity for expedited clinical trials, for a rolling review of the application. And our goal is to have the product in patients in clinical trials this year in 2021. So we've already engaged a regulatory agent in Europe. We've already created the briefing package. We are prepared to enter those conversations to lay out clarity in a timeline to get it to patients in need in Europe.
Okay. And Andreea, you're using kind of a novel approach, right? With the London Stock Exchange to allow Napo have a SPAC in Europe. So kind of explain that process and how that mitigates risk.
Of course. So it's actually AIM Italy, which is a member and owned by the London Stock Exchange. The reason we chose AIM Italy is because not only are they the second largest market for SPACs, for listing of SPACs, but also they allow for a SPAC to name its target. And that is what we have done. We have a specific target, and that target is Napo EU. As you know, one of the main issues with non-performance of SPACs is that once they raise the money, they're unable to find the suitable target. And of course, that's what causes the SPAC to go down. In this case, that has been taken completely off the table as far as a risk. I mean, there's been a lot of good things happening with Jaguar, definitely.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's lots of press about it, Lisa, so congratulations. So now you two are here together. Can you explain the progress that you've made toward merging Napo EU into a publicly listed SPAC on Italy AIM?
So I'll take this first. There's steps involved in the logistics of any sort of listing, and particularly during a pandemic when you're dealing with another country. But certainly the fastest route to do this would be through merging with a SPAC. And so what we've committed is an exclusive license to all the indications of crofelemer to Napo EU. With that will come obligations, because we want this product as expedited as possible to get to patients in need. The cornerstone here is the long hauler COVID-related indication. However, other indications of crofelemer include, of course, what is already approved in the United States, which is the HIV indication, which is a bit of downside protection, an already approved indication. We do have the product in the United States in a phase 3 pivotal trial for cancer therapy-related diarrhea. There are other indications with published trials for irritable bowel syndrome. We have a focus on inflammatory bowel disease, another inflammatory diarrhea, colitis and Crohn's. We have orphaned indications for short bowel syndrome, a rare disease for pediatrics, congenital diarrheal disease. We have investigator-initiated trials in functional diarrhea and idiopathic diarrhea, all based on the normalizing mechanism of action, the first-in-class mechanism of action of crofelemer. And as I said, Napo EU will have the exclusive European rights to develop and commercialize for all these indications, as long as it's meeting obligations to follow through on those.
Andreea, anything to add?
Sure. Well, we're very excited about that possibility, first and foremost, because Europe already has somewhere around 300 clinics that are dedicated to post-COVID treatment. So we think it's the perfect market to enter at this moment. In the meantime, we have done an institutional roadshow for the SPAC right before the lockdown. We managed to go to Europe, and the response to that was nothing short of very enthusiastic. So basically, we are currently talking to various global coordinators. The last thing I want to point out is we are first to market with this type of a SPAC, post-pandemic recovery. Why is that so important? We think that the attention of the financial markets has been shifting to repurposed drugs that can help to alleviate many of the 15 or so long hauler symptoms that have been identified. It's obviously too new of a disease to have brand new drugs that address it. We have brand new injections and vaccines, which is wonderful, but we do have to deal with the long hauler symptoms. And most people will recognize that this is going to be a huge market for the next 5 to 10 years as we work through the after effects of this pandemic.
Okay, well, thank you and best of luck. And I know, Lisa, your company is providing relief to people. So congratulations on that as well. And look forward to getting an update soon as you make progress on the SPAC.
We'll be back.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.